All right, guys, Big Rich here with Ohio Fish Rescue, and we are here going to talk about the pool pond today. You guys have liked our series of taking one video on one tank and talking about it, where it come from, all of its history, what fish are in it. Well, we're going to do that today on the pool pond, so stick with us. What did you just say to me?
I got toast ready.
How dare you talk to me that way?
Well, you asked me a dumb question.
I never ask dumb questions. What did you say to me? All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Awesome People. Take her away, Josh.
Oh, I dropped it. We got... Guys, here's a little something for your koi. I still follow you guys on YouTube, but I rarely have time to catch the live feed on Fridays. If you forgot who I am, I'm sure the ducks will make you remember.
I know who it is already. Omar. What's his last name?
Tomato.
Okay. He sent one big tub of
Koi food.
Koi food platinum.
And
another big tub of koi food platinum. I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bam.
And then the third box and a package. What's in the package? I know what it is. Don't you laugh, Josh. More rubber duckies. We have got more rubber ducks than anybody ever. I swear I'm about to paint numbers on their butts and put them loose in the water. For our barbecue every year.
And one more tub
of Koi Food Platinum. Thank you, Omar. You are the greatest. And yes, we remember you. You didn't need to send the ducks, but the ducks are hilarious. The kids enjoy them big time. I've now got, I think, 4 packages of those ducks. I've got more plastic yellow ducks than anybody on the planet. Thank you, Omar. This will come in handy. We appreciate it, brother. You are what keeps OFR running. Thank you.
All right, we got one more. This thing. It's a plate.
It's a plate.
Just a plate.
Do you know who it's from?
This is from Jontron.
Jontron. Now listen, let me give you a little background on this. Jontron is like my brother, okay? He came here and he was in the hospital with us when this first happened to Tracy, and he visited here and he visited Tracy, and you know, he gave us free nails coupons for his nail salon and everything, which is in Michigan. You guys need to look them up, and they do great work. But he asked his wife to marry her here on camera at OFR. So now he's seeing Tracy's progressing, and he wanted to send her this. So he sends this. Look at this. This is a no.
It's in the sunlight.
This is a 3D painting. Look at that. In acrylic. This is amazing. Look at that. That is amazing. They did it in layers. They put in so much acrylic, they painted. They put more acrylic in, they painted. They did more acrylic, they painted. And then look at the scales on that gold one's back. It shines in the light. This is amazing. This is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And they've got a little stand for it. Yep. And that's John. That's too much, brother. I know you paid a pretty penny for this. You know, you didn't have to do this. You know, you're my brother, and you're part of OFR forever. You didn't have to do this. This is something Tracy would be flabbergasted over. And they're all butterfly koi. He made sure, because Tracy loves her butterflies. Look how beautiful that is. Oh my goodness. That's just crazy. So thank you, Jontron. And tell your wife we love her and miss her. And we will definitely have this on display. Thank you, guys. So this is the next edition of Awesome People. And Jontron been on it like 8 times. He's definitely awesome. Omar been on it about, what, 4 or 5 times? He's definitely awesome. And, oh, these These duckies, they drive me crazy, Omar. Why you do this to me? They're everywhere. No, I love you, brother. All right, take care, guys, and I hope you enjoyed our edition of Awesome People. Okay, guys, we are out here with the pool pond, and it's got a variety of life. Look at, I just threw a handful of food in there, and look at all the cichlids. They're everywhere. Look at that. Here come the catfish, the arowanas, the alligator gars. Here comes big Brutus. He's closing in on, he's every bit of 5 foot, maybe even 5.5. Josh says 6, but I don't see him being that big. But he is thick. He's big around. And then we have a multitude of redtail cats in there, including Big Bill. Big Bill is the only one that's yellow in here. He's over there somewhere. We'll find him here in this series, or in this video. But in the meantime, let's talk about these while we got a abundance of fish right here. Now we have arowanas in here. 3 of them, as a matter of fact. 1, 2, 3. And this guy here is Big, what was his name? Big Jack or something like that. He's from, we went down to West Virginia and picked him up, along with a bunch of other fish. I had one bigger in here, that he died, but now he's the big guy in here. Now the platinum or alligator gars, that's it. Sorry about that. We have 2 of those guys. There is one. Look how fat they are. And they're well over 3 foot. There's the other one right there. And now, see this gravel down here? It's all white. What they did was they used this gravel in the pool, and then they backfilled behind these rocks with white gravel. That I wish we didn't do. I wish that was all the brown gravel or no gravel at all, and give the cichlids more room back behind there. So we have to go in there, I haven't done it in a long time, and manually pick out all the white gravel so it's back to brown all the way up to there. Then we have to dismantle this shelf here, take the rocks out. We need like 6, 7 guys here, because we can hand off a rock, hand it to him, hand it up here to the side and stack it, and get them all stacked up, take it completely apart, all the way down bottom, scoop up the white rocks out of there, and then when it gets all the way down to the bottom, we can put the universal rocks on the back wall like we do the side walls, and then we can start stacking these shelves back. And what we're going to do is stack them up, leave little gaps in between them, and then the next shelf up, leave gaps in between them, and make it to where cichlids can get behind there and have room behind there, and it'll all be, you know, like leaning back towards the wall, and the top will touch the wall type stuff, to where, you know, give the cichlids more breeding area, more room to live. And there's the big albino channel cat. Look at him. Uh-oh. That was Arowana right there. He just jumped. They don't really jump. They curve up like an S, and then they push off. Okay. Let's go see what else we got in here. Oh, there's, nope. These guys right here, you can't see because of the glare. Let me get over here. That is the 4-foot alligator gar there. He is about as fat around as a milk jug, maybe a little bigger. Let me get closer to him and get him out of these glare. This glare kills me from the sun, the skylights up there. All right, here we go. There he is. He's a big boy. We got him from Vincent Wu in California. And let me see. Oh, look at the size of this peace lily. Here is my foot. I'm falling over, sorry. So that's a huge peace lily. We got a few more over here on this side. And, you know, the algae starting to come up and fill in the steps. But we've got a monstera, peace lilies, and I forget what its name was. And then all these plants down along here. I'll show you them in a minute. But right there is the Indian shovel nose. Let me see if I can zoom in on him. He's really neat. He looks a little nicked up. There he comes closer. There he goes. He's really neat. He's a Spirata aor, or an Indian shovel nose. And here comes Brutus. Now you can tell he's almost 6 foot. All right, let me go around here, and I will show you all the plants around the pond. Now, don't ask me these names. I'm not a plant person. This is the first year I've kept plants alive all winter, and they're growing, except for this one. Vince cut it back, or Reaper cut it back and said it would grow back, but that one did not. He was right on everything else so far. This thing here is taking off, and now look at it, it's got a brand new shoots right here coming up and new leaves. This is a new one, a bunch of new ones on here. So it is growing and it's doing good. Fern's doing okay. These guys are all doing okay. Down there, not so much, but they're getting covered with, you know, all the plants up here. And then this thing's doing good. More ferns. I don't know what that plant is. That fern over there almost died over the winter. But these guys are doing awesome. Look how big these are. The first one's a bird of paradise. That's the one with these big leaves on them. And this one here, actually, Dawn gave me, Reaper's wife. And it's growing. Right here is the level of my head. There's my head right here. So it's like 9-10 foot tall. Really, really big. And they're doing good. Now, behind here, we have the waterfall, which when they built the pond in here, they just had this overflow, what do you call it, bucket, went back into the pool. Well, I took and covered all this with a liner. That was my pool cover, the housing right there. So then I had the liner this way, and I put a row of bricks across here, and then put some mortar on it, and put the bricks on it, and then put the liner up over it and hanging down. Now all the water that comes in has to flow through this whole river all the way around, and it waterfalls back in right there, so that all these plants can be sitting in water and filtering the water. So that's worked out pretty well. And then we got the same thing over here on this waterfall. That's working out really well. So our next thing, what me and Josh want to do is, see all these are sitting in trays, and we water them and fill them up. We want to make a tray, remove all these rocks from here, make a wood tray about 3 inches tall, and then about, you know, 1.5 feet wide, and make it level all the way from that side, so we can divert some of the waterfall into it. It'll flow through this whole tray over here, all the way to here, where it'll waterfall back into the pool there, and then all these plants can sit there without trays on the bottom in that tray and get the water from the bottom as they need it, which is basically what they're doing now. So yeah, that's our next plan. But down here we have iridescent sharks. Let me move in on this a little bit. There's 2 iridescent sharks. That's a paroon shark. That's a paroon shark. They're more like a shark than they are iridescent sharks. They are meat eaters, and they have to keep moving at all times. You know, an iridescent shark, they just mosey around. And remember him? He had his whole head was, all the skin was bit off. It's almost grown back now. But these paroons, they're omnivores. They'll eat anything. And then these guys here are more meat eaters. And the difference is the iridescent can get up to 3 foot like Schwarzenegger, but the paroons, they can get up to 5.5 foot. So they get a lot bigger and they're a lot meaner. Let me see what else we got in here. Oh, there's one of the redtails there. He's a big 3-footer. We got a tiger shovel nose right there. And then the giant gourami, the albino giant gourami. And, oh, that's Brutus and his tail. There's Niger cats, and it's hard to tell with the wood down there. There's a Niger cat there, or a Tarashuki cat, or an Oxydorus niger, or a Niger cat. I hate that they have so many names for the same fish. Let me see where else here we got. Let's walk back around this way. Now, see, this was supposed to be nice and clean for, you know, sitting out here. But I've got stuff like Greg Woodstock gave me this big steelfish, and that one, and there's one more, somewhere's here. And we're supposed to hang them from the ceiling down. But I didn't want to hang them because they're metal. And if you hang them above water, they're going to rust more. And you can't sand it or sandblast it. See, it's already rusting being in this room. And this color is from the heat. The guy heat treated it to make these colors for the catfish. So I can't sand it. It'll all be silver then. There'll be no colors left. So I don't know what to do. I thought about, you know, clear paint, but it just worries me that it's going to get ruined. You know, also while we're out here, you can see I'm working on that board that we made. I got the holes drilled through. I got to mount all the stuff on it now. I already mounted this in here and the dosing system. So Oh, that right there, that is a sexy fasciatus discutatus. Now, he used to have like 7 stripes on his side, and he used to be yellow. He's turned more black now as he's gotten older. And he's about, I'd say, a little bigger than 2 foot. That is a hybrid between a redtail and a tiger shovelnose. And he's about 4 foot. There we go. There's another Oxydorus niger. Oh, there's one of the stingrays. That is the cleaning duct. Once a year, you take that top off and you lower down a pump down in there to a big hose, and you run the hose outside, and then you seal the top off, and then it's reverse flows the whole filtration system and sucks out all the dirt. There's another paroon shark. There's a redtail. That right there is the pump vault, and it sucks water in through all them rocks there, and there's pumps underneath there. There's a redtail. Yeah, they're hiding all in this wood. We stacked it up, and oh, this is an actual tilapia. There's another one too. That one's just got, you know, all kinds of color to them, and that's a regular gray tilapia. All right, let me reach down in this food here, grab another handful, shake it off so I don't get any on the floor. There we go. Now you'll see all the fish just come. Look at the colors on them. Look at them blues. Them cichlids do eat good. Look at them barbs on the side of that niger. Now they'll hide on the side of the pond and stuff, and if you walk next to them and spook them, they will take their tail and slash like that, and each one of them is like, it is a bone, and it is pretty sharp, and it will cut you, and it hurts. It's like right across your ankle. It's them things are beastie. Look how fat he is. There's that discutatus. And look at that. There's a big rock they had moved. That's how strong these fish are. They can move big rocks like that. There's a tilapia eating. Now, what we can do is talk about how much we feed this thing, this tank here. We do about 12 to 13 pounds of shrimp and tilapia every other day. So, there we go. It's quite expensive to keep feeding these fish like this. But there's some fish like this alligator gar, he ain't going to eat pellets, you know. Brutus amazingly does eat pellets. I can throw in handfuls sometimes and he'll pop the water at it. Suck down a bunch of pellets. He likes them. But a lot of these don't. The redtails and stuff like that, they don't eat pellets. The nigers will. If they're on the pellets that sink to the bottom, you can see them right there. They're scanning the bottom, and they'll suck up, you know, all the dirt off the bottom. They suck up all them rocks, and you can see them when they do it. The rocks will go in their mouth and out their gills as they're going across all this. So they keep the rocks clean for us, which is very nice. As far as filtration, you know that this whole area right here, under all that rocks, is 6 foot deep of filtration called wetlands filtration from Aquascape. It's a ecosystem filter, and it's basically like a reverse flow under gravel filter. It sucks water. Let me see how this works here. It sucks water in the pump vaults and puts it down underneath here. Then it goes through centipedes, which are spread out everywhere to even out the pressure, and the water comes out everywhere across all of them, and then it goes up into the aqua blocks, which they're like milk crates. So if you cover the whole floor with milk crates, now you've got water coming out of the centipedes faster. It spreads out into the aqua blocks, And then there is the first layer of rocks are bigger rocks like this, covered about a foot of bigger rocks like that, covering all of the aqua blocks. And then you've got about a foot of 1.5 inch stone or so, something like that, covering that, another foot thick of that, or a 1.5 feet. And then you've got a 1.5 foot thick of the small, tiny little gravel. And as the water comes in, it disperses out and slows down under the blocks, and then you'll see it, that kind of dirt settles. So that's like a settling chamber. And there's all kinds of critters under there that eat all the stuff out of the water. Then it goes up through the gravel, and just like in nature, gets filtered that way, and dirt gets stuck. The tinier gravel it goes, the farther up it goes, the more the dirt wants to sink down as it's going up, and it catches it and comes out the whole floor is water coming out of it slowly, clean, and it does an amazing job. To the point that I pump water from here up into my fish room, and it comes all the way back around and comes down out, back into the pool pond here. And then I have water coming in as a constant steady pass-through system, so it overflows in the fish room and goes out the drains. So nowhere near much comes back as it's being pushed up there. So we've got a constant steady flow through, and it works good for us. I mean, the water's always clean and clear, except for when you first feed them. Now, the pellets ain't that bad, but when I throw shrimp and tilapia in, the waters go cloudy for about an hour to 3, So, but yeah, they're doing really well. The tank's doing really good. And we keep it at, let me see what the temperature is right now. Usually 84. Let me go down and see what it is. It is 83 degrees right now. So it's warm. But people are like, oh yeah, that's warm. And then they get in to go swimming and they're like, oh, it's still a little cold. Well, that's because your body's at 98.6. But once you're in for 5 seconds, it's warm and it's like a nice, soothing, warm swim, you get in cold water and you're like, I hate that. So, and you got to understand, a lot of people are like, oh no, 78 to 82 is the most you should have for tropical fish. Well, that's what they tell you in the pet stores. But a lot of these fish come from around the equator area, and they're up in the lot warmer waters because, if the water's shallow, it gets heated up by the sun, and it gets up into the 90s easy. So, 80, 83, 84, it keeps these guys growing and wanting to eat and moving, and it keeps the ick off. If any fish comes in with ick that we didn't catch in quarantine, stuff like that. It's like a disease preventative, and the fish love it. You can see that we didn't even add one cichlid in here. All these cichlids came in through babies, making it through the filtration and then making it into this pool pond and growing. So yeah, we've never added any in here. We have recently, now that there was so many in here, we got like 20 of the blue ones in, and we figured we had too many yellow ones in, so we put blue ones in here. And but yeah, for the first 2 years, we never put any cichlids in here. And they are, when you go underwater here snorkeling, and you can just float at the top like Superman and breathe through your snorkel and just look at all the life, you'll see just hundreds of babies going in and out of these rocks everywhere, and cichlids going in and out, and no matter where you are, you see something new and different and more life, and you're like, oh, I didn't know we had snails and all that kind of stuff. You see all kinds of stuff down there. The more you look, the more you find, and it's cool to just go out there snorkeling. And people get scared because, oh my God, they're that big 6-foot fish or the 4-foot alligator gar. Well, they do come up to you and check you out because they're used to humans having food. But if you don't have no food, they'll leave you alone and just turn around and go away. So we haven't had anybody biting at anybody. So we're doing good, and we never see a cichlid get eaten in here. We've seen a baby get sucked up through a Niger because he was sucking up the gravel on the bottom, and there was a baby getting food, and boom, it was like a little 1-inch cichlid, and he disappeared. But you don't see any of these fish chasing them. But that's also why I don't have peacock bass in here, because then they're so lightning fast, they could catch all these cichlids. These big guys, they don't want to move that fast to try and get a little mouthful when they can wait for me to feed them, and they've got big chunks that don't run from them. And then let me see. So yeah, we don't really see any, and you don't see the cichlids scared of the big fish. They're not like, in the wild you'll see big fish like a shark swimming, and then just all of the little fish staying away, and there's a clear spot around the shark. You don't see that here. They're not really scared of them. Look at these platinum gars. We got these from my buddy Jontron. Brought them in when they were like 8 inches, and we were just supposed to hold on to them for I think 6 months or something. And when he moved, and he couldn't get a bigger tank, and by the time he was done moving, he was like, you know, just go ahead and sell them. They're worth about $3 grand a piece. Sell them and put the money towards the fish rescue. And I'm like, no, John. As much as I'd like to do that, I'll tell you what. You trusted us with your fish. I will keep them here and let them grow out, and you can forever watch your fish grow at Ohio Fish Rescue. So these are my buddy Jontron's, and now they're just way too big for him to take home. But you know, he gets to log on here and see his fish and how well they're doing, and you know, it's a nice thing. So that was it for this today's edition, and you know, I hope you guys liked it. I put a lot of effort into trying to tell you everything about it. You know, we may have to do a second part of this, because I didn't tell you how this was made or any of that, or the story about Tracy. Yeah, I didn't know how I talked her into letting fish in here. I just got to talking too much. I'll tell you what, I'll make a part 2 on it. I'll show you back pictures and back videos of it being made and how I talked Tracy into it, because, you know, she really did not want this to be a pool at first, and, you know, she loved it after it was done, but it took me a while, so. But anyways, you guys have a great day, and of course, stay fishy, my friends. Bye.